Hi, this is Chloe here at magicalwellness.co. For this week, I'm using the Game of Thrones tarot, which was fairly recently released, and I drew as an inspiration for this week's tapping session the Emperor card. And here we see Jon Snow, who fights to be King of the North, and who is an all-around good guy, I would say, one of the nicest characters in the series. And so this is a very positive take on the Emperor. He's someone who's there because he's really one of the people rather than being someone who lords it over others. But just that very distinction reminds us that the Emperor is often an energy of people who do like to kind of lord it over you, or who always have to be in the right, who always have to have the last word, who perhaps create quite rigid rules and structures and regulations. That's kind of, I guess, the more negative aspect of the Emperor. And for this tapping session, I thought that we would tap into that. It's a card which, not in this nice Jon Snow version, but in the more general Emperor version, it's a card which I've often associated with my kids because they do tend to try and boss me around a lot, and they think that the world revolves around them and that they always are right and that everything has to be done their way or has to focus around them. And obviously, I don't think that this is purely a male energy in that. You get plenty of women who can be very bossy and always want things their way and think that they know the best way of doing everything, and who are perhaps quite closed-minded in that regard. But the positive side of the Emperor energy is that desire to make things that work for people, that they can be quite community-minded and so on. They do want to get things done and want things to be done their way because they think that that's a good way of doing things. So, I'm not saying that the Emperor is bad, and I'm definitely not saying that the Emperor is only male or only female. That it really can come in lots of guises. As I say, I experience it a bit with my kids, and maybe that's because I don't create enough Emperor type firm boundaries for them. That's something that I am aware of. That sometimes I'm a bit of a soft touch, or a Empress abundant mummy. Yes, yes, of course I can give you this, I can give you that, I can give you everything. Of course, my darlings. Yeah. Not always what they need. They need firm, clear boundaries sometimes. Anyhow, yeah, that's my stuff. But I imagine that there may be some mothers out there who resonate with that, who, have had that experience as well with little petty tyrant children. And it's also the situation that, sometimes, especially kind of a boss at work might have that kind of energy. Not only have you got to do everything, but you've got to do it their way because they obviously must know best. Yeah, right. So that is what we're going to tap on for this week. So try and think about one person or a situation, or just, things in general where that's something that comes up for you, that you have someone who's a petty tyrant or who always wants things to be done their way. And, get that really clear in your mind. Who is it that is that Emperor person for you right now? And we'll make a start, tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I have this petty tyrant in my life, or maybe more than one of them, and they always have to have the last word, and they always think that their way is best, and I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even though I have to deal with other people who think that their way is the only way or the best way, and I somehow have to make it work with them, and I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I sometimes get a bit annoyed with people who think that their way is the only way, and that I have to do things the way that they tell me. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Tapping through the points. This petty tyrant, and they want to rule my life. They want to tell me what to do. And they always think they know best. And they always think that I should do what they say. And a lot of the time I just put up with it. And maybe that's a good thing. And maybe it isn't. This person who always tells me what I should be doing and how I should be doing it and when I should be doing it and why I should be doing it. Okay, they're a bit bossy. And sometimes I just take it. And sometimes I don't. And I'm open to the possibility of finding a different way of managing it. And maybe that will be by saying no. And I don't have to say no to everything. And I don't have to say no all the time. But maybe I can create some boundaries for myself. Boundaries that feel healthy. Boundaries that feel supportive. Boundaries that I can enforce. And I might worry about whether or not they'll respect my boundaries. And really, that's up to me. If I stick to them, everyone else will have to accept them. And that might feel quite hard. And maybe it means that I have to be a little bit more decisive, a little bit more boundaried, a little bit more of my own emperor. And I'm open to the possibility that I can do that. Take a deep breath. So, you might want to think about how you're feeling now about that petty tyrant in your life. And maybe you want to go through this tapping routine again, or maybe you want to choose some of your own words for this. Make your own boundaries, make your own structure for this tapping session. In any case, I invite you to have a lovely week where you do sometimes just say no. Blessed be.